Hi everyone. So, time for the next installment of Storytime with Zingdad. By now, there's two stories: one about the big baboon, and another about his successor, Baba Baboon. And the third story also relates to those. In Big Baboon, the Big Baboon story, I told you about the monkeys. At the end of that story, I was off to talk to the monkeys to see if I could persuade them to stop raiding my vegetable garden. And perhaps you'll recall, Big Baboon said monkeys have got no culture. So I didn't really know what to expect. What does it mean that monkeys have got no culture? But I thought, all right, let me go and talk to them. Let me go and find out what an animal with no culture is like. Now, the interaction that I had with the monkeys was really very, very strange, very funny, extremely funny. But it left me doubting the experience. Now, I understand this is um, a bit of an occupational hazard with people that do animal communication. Uh, I suppose with anybody that engages in any kind of a psychic activity, there's a part of you that wonders if you're fooling yourself, if you're just making up a story, if it's all just nonsense. You wonder about the validity of it. Um, just the other day, I had um, somebody do an animal communication thing for me on my two little dogs, and she said exactly this to me. That she worries about it. She worries that she's making stuff up, that she's fooling herself. Now, I could tell from her reading the accuracy was unbelievable, but she didn't know. Now, I have just that same I don't know, confusion, that same concern. Is this real? Is this valid? Now, with the baboons, I had the verification in their behavior. With the monkeys, I didn't. But let me tell you the story. So, as always, wanting to communicate with the monkeys, I sat and I meditated and went into a deep meditative state, a deeply relaxed, still, calm mind, meditative state, and then held the intention to bring myself before the leader of the monkeys. And what happened next was like a crazy vaudeville show. I found myself the scene that I found myself in was suddenly very similar to exactly where I am now, in front of a whole row of trees, a whole view of trees, except it was full of monkeys. There was just monkeys everywhere. And as I was there, there was a branch that stuck out, kind of like this one. One monkey comes walking out on this branch, and I'm the chief of the monkeys, like this. Wow, okay. And I was just getting ready to talk to him when another one comes out on the branch behind him and kind of knocks him off. No, I'm the king of the monkeys. Just like that. Excuse my acting, but this is what it was like. And, oh my goodness, and what now? And another one comes swinging from a branch above him and grabbing one foot and one arm. No, I'm the emperor of the monkeys. Pikachu, he's getting excited with my storytelling. So, what am I to do with all of this? And they are going crazy. Picky? No, we're not playing now. These monkeys are all going crazy. They're all laughing, and it's just monkey craziness. And I'm looking at all this and I'm thinking, this is not going to help, because who do I talk to? And while I'm watching all of this insanity, all of this craziness, all of these monkeys going, they just all think it's the biggest joke ever. I see there's one particular monkey who isn't going crazy, sitting on a stump a little bit further away. And as I look at that monkey, it looks much older. Its fur is gray and a little bit like threadbare in a few spots, and it's just quietly sitting eating something. So I bring my attention there and I say, "May I talk to you?" And it looks to me like, "Why you want to do that?" "Well, I want to ask you some questions." "Okay." I'm like, so who who do I negotiate with to ask you to stay out of my garden?" He looks around. "I don't know. No, I don't know." So I'm like, "Well, you see, I have a problem." "Oh, your problem." No, 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 no. But I have a problem. I want to see if I can't come to a solution. No, no. He's just not interested. He just wants to keep eating his whatever. He had a little piece of fruit he was busy with, kind of just wasn't interested. So I'm like, all right, all right. How do I ask monkeys to stay out of my garden? You ask each one, all of them. Start over there, and you ask everyone. I can see that's not going to work because they're all just having a fat laugh at me. They just think this is the best joke ever. And nobody wants to take it seriously. I mean, the most serious one is this little old gray monkey and he's kind of serious, but this, "I don't know, I'm not interested, go away," you know. So I decided, all right, I'm going to take one shot at this. And I stand in front of them all and I say, "Monkeys!" And they all stop and look at me. "Stay the hell out of my garden," like that. And they all start laughing and they start like monkey swearing at me. "You stink! Go away! Poo head! Nana bomb! We laugh at you!" Like this. I just think I'm the object of derision of the day. So that brings me straight out of my meditation. But I, I arose from this. No, Pikachu. I said no. Not everybody listens, you know what I mean? Just the fact that you can have animal communication doesn't solve all of your problems. I arose from this meditation really laughing my head off. And there's no way for me to know whether I just literally made all of that up in that moment in meditation, or whether I had this deep engagement with this crazy group of monkeys, because they just kept on raiding. They just kept doing what they were doing. But the difference between monkeys and baboons, this is a Cape gooseberry is what it's called, and it's neither from the Cape nor is it a gooseberry, but nonetheless that's what it's called. It's Cape gooseberry. What monkeys do when they raid, I've picked this from a bush inside my garden. What monkeys do when they raid, they will come and they will peel back this little outer skin, and then they will take the gooseberry delicately, more delicately than I am, and eat it. And I wasn't even able to do it. And you'll come to the gooseberry bush, and the little paper is still there. The gooseberry is gone. That's how delicately monkeys raid. They don't break stuff. They don't damage stuff. They don't destroy stuff. They just carefully come, and then they take what they want and they disappear. Because of course monkeys are not trying to move us on the way baboons are. They're not attempting to persuade us to disappear. They're not. They're just eating. So in a way, it's kind of okay if the monkeys want to come and raid. In a way, but in another way, it's not okay because ultimately we are trying to live somewhat out of the vegetable garden. So I want to show you over here what I've eventually done for the monkeys. This is the vegetable garden. It has this sturdy fence post and this wire that they can't get through, but of course they can climb right over. So you have to have these they're switched off now, it's why I can touch them. This is a little electric wire. So the fence is negative and the wire is positive, which means if you're climbing the fence and you touch the wire, you get a shock. It's high voltage, low amperage, for those of you that want to know about that, which means it will shock the living daylights out of you, but it won't harm you. It certainly won't kill you. And with this on, of course, the monkeys start to climb and they get shocked, and something. It's like it's a shock. It's a shock. They leap off and they cruise away. They feel like something bit them or something like that, which creates a little aversion in the monkeys, and they now leave the garden well enough alone. So this I had to do for the monkeys. Baboons, no problem. Nothing else is a problem. But the monkeys, the monkeys, the monkeys. So I wanted to share that with you because, I finished my stories with the baboons, telling you that I became friends with these two alphas. I never made friends with the monkeys. I think they're adorable. I think they're just amazing. And I can't quite understand how their dynamic works because there's no leader, there's no boss, there's no order, there's no structure. There is, as Big Baboon said, no culture. He was quite right. So every species that you engage with is completely different. And I'm going to follow on. I'm going to tell you some very different stories in due course. But that was the story of the crazy troop of monkeys and the very funny interaction I had with them. More stories later. Until next time, bye-bye.